And welcome to press conference number 5, recap of the Purdue-Wisconsin matchup. A couple things we got to go over before we get started. The winning coach and student athletes will come into the dais soon. The winning coach will make an opening statement, and then question for the student athletes. Please raise your hand, and the mic will be brought to you if you're in the room. And it's critical that we get you mic'd up in here so that we can get the transcription and send that out. Student athletes, after they had their questions and everyone's answered those, they will be released, and the head coach will stay to finish questions. For those of the media members on Zoom, please keep your mics muted. If you wish to ask a question, use the raise hand function, and we'll get you into the press conference as soon as possible. Recordings of each press conference will uploaded to the tournament Dropbox as soon as possible following their completion, and transcripts will be made available of the press conferences. Welcome and congratulations. We're going to do this. We're going to have the coach here going to give an opening statement, and then we're going to have the players take questions. Then we'll release them, and then you could stay and finish the press conference. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All
Except
right.
I never give opening statements. So.
You don't?
No, I got you one though.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm ready.
First time for everything.
Yeah, no doubt. Like Jayla making a game winner, first time for everything.
Yeah.
No, you've done that before.
Oh, long time.
First of all, hats off to Wisconsin. Coming in, we knew it was going to be a battle. They'd won 4 of their last 5 games, had been playing really, really well, just knocked off Michigan at home. We come out a little tight, miss a lot of shots to get down by a few points, but just a gutsy, gritty effort by our ball club, and we had the ball in the last play and made one more play than they did.
All right, thanks, Coach. Do we have any question for the student athletes in this room?
Charles Homer, Minnesota Spokesman Recorder. This is for Jayla. Was that the biggest shot you ever taken and made in your lifetime?
In my lifetime, I probably had some moments in high school, but in my college career, yes. I think that was a big shot, especially for us to go to the next round, play Iowa. So it's all about going to the next game.
A question here.
This is also for Jayla. Was the play run for you, or did you just happen to pop open at the right time to get the three-pointer off?
I was where I was supposed to be at the right time. I think there were multiple options. There were multiple options out the play. JT could took it, drove it down the lane for a layup, cast in the corner, me on the wing. I think wherever was the best shot. That was it.
All right. Do we have any questions from the Zoom audience? Any more questions for the student athletes? Thank you, ladies.
Abby, you look pretty up here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take your time. You're on.
I'm ready.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Coach in here? Charles, right behind you. She has the mic. There it is.
Charles Homer, Minnesota Spokesman Recorder. This is not about the game itself, but could you comment on Lindsey Whalen's resignation this morning?
Hi, Charles. I sent Lindsay a text and haven't heard back. I don't know if I've got a few messages right now, but got all the respect for number 13 there. It's crazy because when we played against each other in college, she was always my favorite player to play against because she was just so smooth, silky smooth, never got rattled. And they kicked our butt on Sunday. So you're welcome, Lindsay. But whatever's next for her, she's a winner by all means of the book, and I'm excited to see what's next for her. Yep. You gonna ask me if Jayla was in the right spot?
I already heard the answer to that, and I saw you smile, so I think she was right. Wisconsin came out and played pretty good defense on you guys in the first half. What sort of adjustments did you make at halftime in order to get some better looks in the second half?
Yeah, we went small. We had watched on film the last few games. They had been doubling the post really big and aggressively, and that's on us. Maybe we just didn't prepare Caitlin and Ricky enough to see those looks because it gave us a lot of fits. I thought in the first quarter we were getting really some open shots, maybe just came out a little tight. Throwing bricks up there, a couple air balls, maybe the moment got us. But once we were able to settle in and we went small, I thought Ava did a really good job for us, rim running and on the defensive end. And then even in the second half, we went even extra smaller to just give ourselves some looks. And, our kids stayed with it. I told them there in the locker room, there wasn't one timeout where I looked in their eyes and I didn't think that they thought that we weren't going to win. Every single time, I think that they believed that we were still there, whether it got to 17 or 18. We battled back, got it to 9, but every single time out, I think that group thought that they were still going to win this game.
All right, we have a question on the Zoom from Mark Stewart, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, hey, congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, Mark.
Defensively, I guess I kind of was curious, what adjustments, if any, or maybe not adjustments, what changed, what were you able to tighten up defensively after you got down 30-12 that really kind of allowed, helped your team, kind of start coming back in this game?
Yeah, we went small. We throw in Ava Learn, and we're able to switch some things. I think a couple of their bigs were in foul trouble, so they were small, and just organically we went small. We were a little bit more aggressive on their bench players. Got our hands on stuff. Got to be got in the open floor, made some plays. We were able to cut it to 9. Second half, the biggest adjustment we made is we put Cass Harden on their big player. Whether it was 3 or 25, we wanted to make sure she was hard hedging ball screens because we just had a fit getting over top of ball screens on all their shooters, and they were just kind of picking us apart. And hard hedging is not something we do a whole lot. And Cass Harden, she stepped up and made the plays, and just proud of our group for staying with it and believing in that.
Any follow-up, Mark?
No, I'm good. Thank you very
All
much,
right,
Coach.
thank you. Any other questions from the Zoom audience at this point? Any follow-ups from here in the room? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Yep. I do. All right, once again, we'll be going through the same format. The student athletes will take, the coach will come and make an opening statement. Student athletes will take questions. We'll release them, leaving the coach here to finish for questions. Just so everybody, if you needed a reiteration of the rules, that's where we're going. All right, so we'll have the coach, we'll start you with the opening statement. Then we'll go to questions for the student athletes. Once they're done with both the in-house here and the online version, we'll come back for you to wrap up, Coach. Is that okay?
Sounds fantastic.
All right, you're ready to go on your opening statement.
All right. How about that ride in, huh? No, just kidding. Hangover? Anybody? Okay. No, that was a crazy game. The first half I felt really good. We got in some foul trouble. and our scoring came to a halt a bit there. Unbelievable 2 possessions there at the end of the game. Maddie Wilkie hits a huge shot. Their kid comes down, hits a huge shot. I think that's really what March is all about. Obviously, would love to be on the other side of that, but really proud of this team and our fight. You know, we made a lot of history this year for our program. We made a lot of strides, and we owe a lot to our 2 seniors. We have a third one in the locker room who, one of the things we talk about, and anyone who's been around our program knows that we talk about one of our pillars is legacy and leaving a place better than we found it. And I am eternally grateful to these 2 and Sarah Stapleton to absolutely have left this place better than they found it.
Okay, thanks. Do we have any questions from the room? We'll need to get a microphone in your hand. Any questions? Let's get a microphone.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Coach. How you doing? Clifton Pearson, independent local, Maced Out Live. You guys have 3 seniors this year. That's graduating. You guys have a slew of freshmen and sophomores. What do you say to those players as far as experience-wise, as far as getting their feet wet on a big stage going forward? This was an awesome game. Nothing to be ashamed of. And what do you tell your players going forward as far as your young ones?
What I told them is that time is undefeated, and in a short 3 years, they'll be sitting in the same seat as these seniors. And they want to make sure that the younger players that come in after them will be advancing in this tournament and won't be sitting in there crying because they lost that game. And that they have to make sure that they absolutely do everything that they can to work on their game to keep getting better. Because, yeah, you get a taste of it, and there should be a fire burning inside, but you can't be satisfied.
Do we have any questions for the student athletes in the room?
Oh, we got one from Mark on the.
Good.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I'll let you do your job.
No, that's right. Hey, Mark, you got another question for the student athletes this time?
Yeah. Hey, you guys can get rid of me.
I know, Mark, man. Although you look like you're in a bunker somewhere. What the heck?
Yeah, this is my basement office. This is where all the creativity happens down here in the Blue Room. But Julie and Avery, hey, congratulations on the season, first of all. I guess I'm wondering if you can share a little bit. Share with me the emotions of the moment as you kind of, go through this process of, of the season wrapping up and kind of having a good showing here at the tournament.
I can go, yeah. It's definitely bittersweet. I love playing for Wisconsin, especially coming from different country. They were very welcoming for me, and I'm excited to move on and just go experience my new chapter in life. But I will always think in a good way about Wisconsin, and I hope I'm gonna be able to come back and just cheer for the new generation coming in and making a difference.
I'd also say bittersweet, but I'm a little more emotional than Julie. So these past couple weeks have been great. I mean, we won our last 4 out of 5, and I feel like we couldn't have scripted this season any better, at least the ending. But I'm really grateful to Coach Mo and the staff for bringing me along for my last year. And I'm really proud to say that Julie and I and Sarah Stapleton have left this place better than we found it.
And if I can follow up with Julie and Avery, just can you speak to, after the team took that 30-12 lead, it seemed like Purdue was able to tighten up some things defensively, or at least the offense was harder to come by for you and your teammates. What changed? What maybe were they taking away that made things a little more challenging offensively during those final quarter and 2.5 quarters?
I think they were able to speed us up, and we kind of let them to be physical with us, and we didn't respond in the right way, and that basically just didn't allow to score, and we were not able to get ourselves together and just come together and play more confident.
Yeah, I also say they made an adjustment with the ball screens. they were hard hedging a lot, so we had to make an adjustment with a short roll, and I think it kind of just took us out of our rhythm a little bit. But like Drew said, they sped us up, and we unfortunately weren't able to execute down the stretch.
Okay, do we have any more questions for the student athletes in the room here? Any more on the Zoom call? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, Mark's back. Mark, unmute yourself, please.
Hey, I just
Muted
You
again.
muted yourself there. Mark, we cannot hear you. Can you unmute yourself, please?
okay.
Okay, there you
Sorry
are.
about that.
No problem.
I just wanted to say before Avery and Julie left, I just wanted to thank them for their time this year. Congratulate them on their senior season. Since we probably, who knows when the next time we'll cross paths. But I just want to thank you for your help this year before you went to the locker room. So that was all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, take care.
All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any questions for Coach?
Charles Hallman, Minnesota spokesman recorder. Any little thing that you can talk about your year, even though it's disappointing ending, but in terms of just how your kids played for you this year, and then if you can comment a little bit on Lindsay Whalen's resignation that happened today.
As far as my team, our job as coaches, the way I see it is to continue to get our players better and try to make them or help them become the best version of themselves, both as basketball players and as women. And I think that my staff and I really worked extremely hard throughout the year to continue to take steps forward every day to do that. We see kind of how we ended the season, but there was a lot of moments of kind of flashes of greatness and exciting times that we had throughout the season, and I think it just planted seeds for where we're going. And as I said before, you have to go through this part, and it's challenging. Obviously, and the buzzer beater, that's not those are things that just happen. But as far as kind of the ups and downs of the season, you have to go through that as you're continuing to build a program. But I'm really proud of where we are right now in this process, and I'm excited about the future of Wisconsin women's basketball because, I was entrusted to turn this thing around, and I think we've already started to take steps to do that. As far as Lindsay, she's obviously a legend at Minnesota. Having been an assistant there, had a great relationship and respect for her as a player, then turned into a colleague, and, just wish her the best as she continues on. Loved competing against her, and, honored to have the opportunity to coach against a Hall of Famer player.
Other questions in the room here?
When we talked yesterday, you mentioned you wanted to make sure the team cut down on turnovers since the first time you played Purdue. There were quite a few. And in the first half, you did. It was great for the offense. What changed by Purdue's defense in the second half that started forcing more turnovers?
I don't know that anything really changed. I mean, I have to go back and watch the film. I don't know that anything really changed with their defense. We had foul trouble, and so then we had people playing out of position, and we're trying to run things. It kind of mismatched with or mishmash. I think that's the word. And so I think that that's really where it started to kind of
come undone a bit. And I think we just stopped being strong with it. We tried to force some things inside, or we pick up our dribble too soon. And credit to Purdue, they made some big plays there and really took advantage of our foul trouble and cut it to 9 at the half. And I said to my staff, it's a 3-possession game with Purdue. Like, they're, a great 3-point shooting team, and we're up 18. Like, I don't know that our players necessarily understand how critical, especially this time of the year, a lot of crazy things can happen. And then I guess I was prophetic. Yeah, I think in the end, a lot of it, similar to the first time we played them, was self-inflicted. And to me, that's something that we absolutely will need to address in the future in order for us to really take the steps forward with this program that we want to.
All right, we'll go back to Mark on the Zoom call for another question.
Hey, Coach. After Purdue, they came all the way back, and you were down, about 4 points with about maybe a minute and a half or so left. And then your teammate, came back and actually took the lead, made a handful of plays during that stretch, forced a jump ball. Sarah got a tough bucket. Obviously, Matt each 3. What is that? I mean, I assume that's got to be encouraging, despite the final outcome. Just how your team was able to kind of, at least for that moment, respond to the charge that Purdue was making against you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's something that I require and demand of the players that are going to play for me, is that we don't have any quit in us. That, despite we were up 18 and then go down, and the runs and all that in the game, that if you're putting on a Wisconsin jersey, you're going to compete and fight till the very end. And I think, our players understood that, and they fully buy into that, right? They know that we want to be competitors, and that we want to try to put ourselves in the best position to win. And in order to do that, you have to keep making game-winning plays.
Do we have any more questions from the Zoom audience?
No, I'm good. The same deal with you, Marissa. Appreciate the help this year. I'm sure maybe some point during the off season I'll be checking in to see how things are going with the program. But just wanted to thank you for your help this year as well.
No, thank you, and appreciate all the coverage with our program. You were awesome.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
So if you're prophetic,